Alright guys, gonna talk to you a little bit more about isometric sketches and doing some more advanced drawing. So let's start with the basics. So if you forgot, there's starting out, if you're making a cube, you only use vertical lines and diagonal lines. And I'm gonna make a little cube in the corner. I feel like if you struggle with this, if you make a cube right off the bat, you can kind of use it as a reference and it makes it pretty easy. Okay. All right, so there's my basic cube shape right there. Okay, and so now we're gonna learn how to go from that and make more advanced shapes like angles, curves, holes, and things like that. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing I'm going to show you is we're going to make a hole through something. So let's go ahead and do 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 tall. I'm gonna go down and let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 long. 1, 2, 3. And we'll make this the width 1. Okay. Now connect 1, 2, 3. 1 to match that angle. 1, 2, 3, 4 to match that one. I know this one's 1 here. This one is going to be 4. I've got that drawn. Now, remember when you're originally drawing these sketches, if you're trying to draw from this dot, you can go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, or this way. You cannot go here, you cannot go over here, you cannot try to even skip more and go over here. These are all bad. Okay, just to the closest dot, that's all you can, starting out. Okay, but first let's go ahead and show you how to put the hole through this object. So I'm gonna draw a line here, and I'm just gonna make a little box like that, all right? And now it looks like, maybe there's something there, but I need to add depth, okay? So this is how you add depth. You add a line right here. Now, if this line's got to be the same distance as this. So if this was only half right here, if this only went half, you'd actually stop it right here and go up. So maybe I'll show that to you real quick, what something like that would look like. Actually, I'll do another example. Okay, so we did that. Now let's do an angle. So an angle is going to be pretty simple. We're going to just do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We're going to make our width 1 again. 1. I know this was 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Width 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay, so if we want to make an angle, all we're going to do is figure out, like, let's say we want to make a 45-degree angle. So we pick our 2 points, say here and here, okay? And I think it's going to be easiest if you draw your line across first. So you know how we did our width line? Let's go ahead and draw a width line at the start and end of our angle, okay? We're going to draw that line. And then all we're going to do is connect the dots from those lines, there and there. And now you're going to kind of see the angle, okay? And it looks like there's like a frame around it. Well, all you have to do is erase. And you get your angle, okay? And it's the same thing if you want to do it on the other side or do an angle here. You just pick out your two points. If I want my line to start here and go down here, I just draw that line right. I can draw this line here because it ends there. Technically, I would draw my line from here to the inside dot, which would be right here, which if we did that, it would just be like that. And you'll see that if I erase this, let's use the good eraser. It looks the exact same. So now it looks like a little trapezoid. And you can use that same thing to make a house. Okay, so let's do a curve. And I'm going to do this one out over here, because I'm going to show you something kind of cool when we get done with all these. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now this is how I usually draw them. I do all my lines that are going the same direction all at once, and it just saves me a lot of time. Okay, so I got a box. Pretty much any of these advanced shapes we're just going to carve out of a box. Okay, so I picked my 2 points. Let's say, this time let's go for 2. All right, we're going to say from here we're going to go 2 back and then 2 down. Okay, so I'm going to make my curve from here to here. Now say when you make these curves, less is more. Okay, so I see I made that curve. And now I've got to imagine that right here would be, I'm going to lightly draw this in. Hopefully you can see it on the camera. This would be the other side of the box. Okay, you can kind of imagine, if you could see through that box, there's another side here. Well, this dot and this dot, you're going to have to make this exact same curve. So I'm going to have to try to follow this line, and these lines should stay parallel. Okay, darken up my lines. Yeah, then I'm going to erase that little excess frame thing I got going on there. And you can see how it looks like I have like a curve, right? It technically starts here, but on these ones we don't draw a line, okay, and ends here. So there's a nice curve. Okay, one cool thing I was showing some people that if you want to do to kind of make your drawing cooler is you can actually start connecting these shapes. So watch this. I'm going to connect these two together. I'll just draw these lines down. Okay, and you can now kind of see it. And now I just erase. So I'm going to erase these middle lines and make this look like it's all one face. And see that line I don't need because it goes through. And now look, kind of looks like maybe a key or something there. Same thing with this guy. I can make it, which way do I want to connect it? Let's connect it from the front. Yeah, we'll go, this one we're going to go out, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to draw on my little side. Oh, I'm going to pause the video. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I've made that come out to, I'm going to bring the line down here. I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to bring this guy here. And then I know I need to bring this here and a line here. And you're just going to have to kind of watch and see what looks right, but I can kind of see which lines I need to erase. And you'll probably need to go over some lines again because you might accidentally erase them. So kind of erasing all these ones that... So I'm gonna, yeah, see, I'm gonna go over these again so it looks like a nice... But you can see how this looks like, now makes it look like these shapes have kind of connected. Okay, and you've gotten a cool little piece. So the first assignment is to draw one piece that has a hole that goes through it, like this. Make it look like, see how it looks like that goes through. Has a curve, so we'll put, has a curve, and then has like this right here, which is an angle. Okay, it doesn't have to look like mine. It can if it helps you, but you know, and you can draw them out separate if you want. But that's how it's going to work. All right, so do that, and I'm going to pause this and then get to the next part of the assignment. All right. Okay, moving forward. So for the next part of this assignment, I'm gonna have a bunch of pieces like this and this. And these are really for you to kind of practice your skill and get this down. So when we look at a piece like this, we really need to first just think about it as a block, okay? And I've already kind of marked these off, so if you get a piece and you see these lines, you might not even have to measure. You can just know that that's 1 inch, or make it one box, okay? But let's start off here. This is 3 inches long, okay? So I'm gonna make this piece like this. And so 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I know that this is 3 inches wide. You can kind of see it right there. It's about 3 inches. For this assignment, you're just rounding to the nearest inch. 1, 2, 3. But I try to do a better job measuring these guys out. And I know this is 1 inch tall. You can see that, 1 inch tall. Okay, so I'm gonna do 1 box tall. I'm gonna draw this guy in. This guy, and this guy. Okay, and I'm gonna draw this guy lightly because I know I'm gonna erase some of it. Okay. And so now I've drawn this bottom piece as if it was a square. If these angles weren't there, that's exactly what I just drew, okay? Okay, so now I'm gonna do this next part. I'm gonna draw it just like a square. Okay, so it is 3 tall from the top, okay, and 3 long. So I'm going to make another shape like this. So, and it looks like it is 1 thick is where I'm going to start. Just that, whoops, right here, 1 thick, okay? So I'm going to start right here and go up 3. 1, 2, 3, down 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, over here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna draw my lines over. Oh. And I'm gonna erase these lines right here, even though, okay? Now this is going to kind of be our base shape that we're going to make this out of. So you can kind of see, imagine if this was just a square on top of a square. Now we're going to start carving things out. Okay, so look, I know that these little angles go 1 back and 1 over. So if I went from here, put a dot, 1 back and 1 over, this is where my new line is going to start. Okay, and then I can draw down from here. All right, same over on this side. It goes 1 over, okay, before this new angle starts, and it goes 1 back and 1 over. 1 back, 1 over. So I'm going to put from these two, I'm going to draw a line here, okay? And then I need to draw lines down from them. Okay. So hopefully now you can kind of see that shapes in there. Also, since I did this line here, I've got to do it down here on this side too. It's got to be parallel. Okay, so there we are, and I erase. Okay, so now you can see we've got that bottom part right there. We just drew in this, okay? So now we're going to draw in this part. Now this has got 2 curves, okay? And it's got a hole in the middle. I can tell that's 1 inch by looking at the lines that I drew, but I can also measure it, 1 inch there. Okay, goes 2 inches high, then the curve starts. And it looks like the curve goes from 1 inch to 1 inch tall. Okay, so first let's go to where the curve starts. I know it starts too high, so 1, 2, and then I'm gonna start drawing my curve, and that goes about 1 inch. Okay, so from here to here, I'm going to draw a curve, and then I'm going to do that exact same curve from here to here. Okay, so I'm going to make a little curve. Okay, and I'm going to make that exact same curve right here. Okay, down this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go from, I know this is 2 up before that curve starts and goes over, and then goes, so, and then 1 over. Okay, so I'm going to make this curve. This is the, okay, I'm going to go over here. Remember, I'm going to imagine that this line goes down here. I'm going to make that exact same curve right here. So it should be, these two curves should look just the same, okay? And then on this one, I actually have to find, so I line my ruler up with the lines, go to my curve until they both are on, this probably go outside edge, and then I draw my line right there, okay? Just like if I was, and I can erase this little part right here. Okay, now I erase the frame, just like we did before over here. We're just doing the exact same thing. Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna also erase this little line right here. It's gonna help make it look like it's all one piece. Okay. Okay, now we got that. Now we're gonna do this little inside part. So I know this comes up 2 high and 1 over. So from here, 2 high, 1 over, go back down, okay? And so now that we did that, just like the last time, we got to add our depth. Remember when we added this line right here? We got to add this line right here. This adds our depth, okay? And when you add that depth line, if you erase this line in here in the middle, it's going to really make it kind of look like there's a little pathway or doorway that goes back there. Okay, now we're almost done. We've got all of this. All we have done is just a little angle right here, okay? And this is really easy. I can tell you, once again, this is 1 inch tall by 1 inch over. So 1 inch tall by 1 inch over, I'm going to draw a line right here. From right here, 1 inch tall, 1 inch over. I'm going to draw a line right there. Okay? And I can draw these connectors. And then I can erase. And you just have to eyeball. There's going to be times when you maybe erase a line you shouldn't have, or you didn't erase enough lines. And you're going to go back and figure it out, okay? It's definitely okay to make mistakes. I made these pieces pretty challenging and hard just because I wanted you to have to think about it, okay? So this is the same thing, okay? 1 up, 1 over, okay? And I got to do the same thing on both sides. So 1 up, 1 over, drawing my line. Okay, 1 up, 1 over, drawing my line. Okay, adding my connecting lines. Okay, and this I need to extend this line out so it looks like it fits. Then erase the stuff in the middle. Okay. And when you're done, it's a really good idea to kind of go back through with a ruler and darken all your lines up. Just gonna make everything pop out and look nicer. And if you want to get, yeah, well, that's good enough actually. Okay, so you can kind of see that shape. They look the same, right? So it's pretty much exactly like right there. That's how it looks. Okay, so you can kind of see. All right, like I said, I made these hard, so oh, I'm gonna pause. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call. I had to take it. Okay, let's do one more piece. Let's do this piece. Now, try to make most of the pieces have like a curve and an angle and a hole. Not all of them, but so I kind of want you to incorporate all of them. But this is to show you how you can draw real-world objects. So let's do this guy. It's also, I can tell because I drew these little grids in here. This is a 3 by 3 piece, so I'm going to start by making that base piece. Okay, and let's just do it right down here. I think this is going to be enough room. go, yeah, right there. 1, 2, 3. Let me get my ruler out. And 3 this way. 1, 2, 3. It's not going to be enough room. Well, it might be actually. Okay. Draw my line in. Okay. So now we've got this part right here. As a matter of fact, to make this even a little easier to see, I'm just going to go and sketch in the outside lines of this. I'm going to go ahead and put my circle inside the middle. And whenever you're making these circles, less is more. Just only do a little bit. Like look how I'm just using a little bit of curve here. I'm not like trying to make a big curve. I'm actually using a lot of these straight lines of the line. It'll look better. Okay, and let's say if this was a little thinner, I could do this right here, and this is gonna make it kind of look like it goes through. Okay, so I got this middle piece, and I went ahead and put the hole in the middle. All right, let's now add on these 2 side pieces. It looks like they are 3 tall, 1 long, 1 by 1. So I'm going to add those pieces out. So it comes out by 1. This one, I got to imagine it from down here, comes out by 1, and then goes up by 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And it's going to go 1 thick, and that will also go up by 3. And this guy is going to be 1 both ways. Oh, whoops, wrong spot. And this will be 1, 2, 3. And now I've got to, I gotta finish this guy out too. So this is gonna come up 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. Okay, so you can see I've got these as if there was no angle here, it's just a straight pillar. That's how I draw that in. I'm gonna go ahead and erase these lines that I don't need. Okay, and now I need to draw this guy in. I can tell it's 1 in and 1 back, and it goes 1 back here. So 1 in, 1 back here. So right, it's just gonna look like that. You're not even really gonna be able to see it. Okay. Now I'm almost done. So all I gotta do now is add in a curve, add in my angles. Okay. So my curve, I can look, it looks like it's about 1. It goes from 1 square to 1 square, that little quarter of the curve. So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna curve down. Okay. And same thing here. I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna curve down. I'm gonna try to keep these curves right here as the exact same. And I draw my outside line, line it up with straight up and down, so find out where that straight up and down in between point is. And go straight up and down. I might have to adjust, okay? And then I can erase most of that curve right there. Okay, same thing here. I know this curve's 1 in and 1 over, so 1 in, 1 over. Make that curve right there. Then make this curve right here. And erase my extra. Okay. Now to get this, okay? I know that this is 1 by 1 inch. I already know because okay. Most of the angles are pretty even for this part of the assignment. So look, so 1 over here. I'm connecting these two. Draw a line, okay? 1 up and over. I'm connecting these two. Okay, 1 over 1 here, so I'm going to connect this one with this guy. 1 over, 1 down with this guy. Nope, nothing. Erase it. Use my good eraser. Okay, and now you can kind of see right there, there's my piece. Okay, so you're going to take your piece and you're going to try to draw it as best you can. Okay, you're basically just adding on. So you're going to start out with a block. Okay, you start out with your block. If you need help, look at the top of your paper. Figure out how you need to make it. Maybe you need to make yours, you know, longer, shorter. Okay. You don't have to do this. And then just add in whatever you got to add in. If it's curve, add in a curve. Okay. If it's angle, you know, add in an angle. Do like a little angle right here. Okay. So actually it should be more like that. But that's not a good example. We'll do an angle over here. If you want an angle, you can do one right here. Okay, so all you're doing is connecting the shapes like you kind of did here, and you're just starting out with a box and carving it out. All right, it's pretty easy. Let me show you one last thing kind of for fun here. Let's say, let's do wow. I'm going to connect this guy all the way over here to this one. One, two, three, four, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring this guy down. Okay. Okay, cool. Erase this stuff. Okay, so I made this big old block, right? I'm gonna make this next one like on the halves. Okay, so let's just say I go like every half spot. So I'm going to go in between all these dots. Okay. And I'm going to make okay. So now look, I've got this shape, and it's not exactly great, but it works. Okay. Now I know this goes 1 back, so I know this should go 1.5 back. And I stop. And now I gotta actually draw in the rest. This is the only thing I want to show you. You see how, like, if you do a hole that's too large, or we can just keep going. Okay, like that. So on the larger holes, you'll have to add in the depth, like this length right here. Okay, but don't worry about that. Focus on these two right now, okay? And that should be what we're gonna be doing today.